Hey guys, Becca Scoops here. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing well. I don't think this is going to be a super long video. I'm going to try to keep it short, but I thought it was important to point out some things that are going on in the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case universe, some updates. Yeah, people are spiraling out of control. And we're going to talk about Ryan Anderson and a little bit about Gypsy. Ryan Anderson has been he's broken his pattern. He's now going live on TikTok like 3 nights in a row. Pretty sure it's been 3 nights in a row. I haven't caught all of it. But I've watched enough to know I need to make a video. We need to point out some things here. And also, I'm going to tie him into the beginning of their relationship because Ryan speaks to this woman during his TikTok live and he talks about the beginning of their relationship. And I just wanted to see how much of that was truth and what part is myth in his own mind. So let's go ahead and jump right into this woman called Barbecue Lady, who ends up on Ryan's TikTok, and she begins to ask him a couple of questions. Here we go.
Listen, my daughter, who's 17, and she's like a gossip.
By the way, you're going to hear her talking. You're not going to see her mouth moving. There's some kind of a delay going on here, but just kind of ignore that and let's get through it.
Okay, tell her, come on. I'll answer one question if I feel it.
Said, what made you choose Gypsy back then?
What? I've said this in interviews. It was COVID. COVID was going on, and I was working in a hospital, and our clientele went down from like 300 a day to like 4, right? So
Okay.
my coworker, who were friends, her name was Emily. She was obsessed with watching Tiger King. Like, you remember that show?
Joe!
Obsessed, right? And I'd hear about it all day and all night, and then not all night, but she comes to work, and then she's like, I'm going to write him a letter. He's in prison right now. So she just kept going on and on and on about it all day. I'm going to really write him a letter. I'm going to really write him a letter. Well,
What do you think about that?
About what?
Her wanting to write Joe, the tiger guy.
I mean, I'm like, whatever, the show's going on. She's a fan, whatever.
Now, the woman's trying to point out, what did you think about that? Did you think it was weird? She wanted to write this guy, Joe Exotic, this Tiger King, this reality TV star with all of the questionable baggage. I mean, he's in prison. Did you think that was kind of weird? And his responses says a lot, but we're going to get more into that. So just
all day. I'm going to really write him a letter. I'm going to really write him a letter. Well,
What do you think about that?
About what?
Her wanting to write Joe, the tiger guy.
I mean, I'm like, whatever, the show's going on. She's a fan, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. And finally, to hush her up, because I remember Gypsy's documentary, I said, I'll tell you what, right now, if you write Tiger King right now, I'll write Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
I don't understand this. So I made a mental note, like, let me go see, when did Joe Exotic, that Tiger King show, come out? It came out in March of 2020. And so going through the emails, I figured, okay, end of March, beginning of April 2020, I'm going to see his first email. And sure enough, I do. So part of this is true, that maybe this woman writing Joe made him think he could write Gypsy, because in his first email to Gypsy, here it is. Ryan writes, "Hi, obviously you have no idea who I am, and I've thought about writing to you for probably the past year." So here he admits it's not really triggered by Tiger King. He's been thinking about writing her for the past year. Now, but I don't know. I felt weird about it. I'm so excited for you to be released and finally experience life and discover yourself. I'm sure I had a lot of time to think about you, and I want to be, and what you want to do. It's hard because sometimes in these emails they leave out certain words, and it's hard to get through it. But anyways, he goes on. I'd honestly love to hear about it. I'm sure you get thousands of messages and don't always have the time or to respond to them. I'm sorry if this is weird. I've just always wanted to, I guess, get to know you? Question mark. People know you for what they saw in the show and on the news. You just seem like you have so much to offer the world. What is he basing that on? What do you mean she has so much to offer the world? She's a mommy murderer. She went to prison for it, for arranging the murder of her mother. What do you mean she has so much to offer the world? So, right there, red flags. Why is he writing her? And hopefully, I'm going to answer some of those questions through this video. He adds, "You actually look a lot like my ex-best friend. It's crazy. You're such a beautiful individual, and I'm sure your personality matches. Sorry, have no idea." And it ends there. I also went to, obviously, is not where it ends there. It's where the first page ends, and you can't find the second page. I went to both tranches of emails. There's ones that are sorted by date. There's others that are the original from Into the Weeds that aren't sorted by date. I did find that. It also ends there. So that's what he wrote. Okay, so let's go back to what he's saying here.
She was like, hey. And I was like, okay, cool. And I took it serious, and I was heartfelt, and like I really gave my all in this letter. And I ended the first page saying, people know so much about you through like the documentary and the show and everything, because they did a show about her, the act.
On the surface.
Yeah. I said, people know so much about you. You don't know nothing about anybody else.
So the second page, I just went through it. Like I just told her all about me.
Just opened up. Okay.
And I love when people are like, it was a bet. It wasn't a real bet.
Like it was just like, that statement, bet, you're on. Like it wasn't a bet. I hate when people say that when I say that. But I wrote her a letter, and at the end of the letter, after my second page, it was just all about me. And I got personal. I wrote, here's my email address. If I hear from you, great. If not, have a great life. Take care of yourself. And boom. And then about a week later, I got an invite to start emailing her. And it happened like that. Like it was, I didn't expect anything to happen. It was, I remember we talked on the phone, and we had chemistry, and that was it. But to answer your daughter's question, that's it. It just happened.
Can I ask you a couple?
It didn't just happen. You made it happen. And all of the emails, I mean, he writes these long ass emails, and the relationship heats up within 2 weeks. It's like so fast. And we're going to get into that. And at the same time, she's still pining away at Ken, but then she's writing him, and she's not being totally honest with him at this time. And then some gross things too. This really gross email about sperm. It's so gross that I'm going to get to also. Okay. Yeah. And why I'm making this too is because Ryan admits, that he's on this maintenance medication for a possible past addiction, allegedly. Okay. And if you know anything about addiction, you know that you can trade one for another. And why I'm so saying spiraling out of control is because what I sense, what I'm pretty sure is going on here now with Ryan Anderson, is that he's decided to go full in on social media as his job. The cameos. He's going every night to promote the cameos. And why? Because he also loves gambling. And he even talks about making bets on these different live streams. So he's actively betting. And I would think, I don't know this for a fact, I'm just suggesting that possibly what's going on here is he's thrown in the towel on the teaching, which I went over in my last video, which I think he got into. Look, when he started to write Gypsy in another email, he talks about he's not a teacher. So in 2020, he's not a teacher. He's working at a hospital as a patient specialist representative, something like that. He's like a go-between between the hospital and insurances. He says it's a boring job, but that's what he was doing. He wasn't even teaching yet. So his teaching career has been like a couple years. It's not even been that long. And now that's why I'm thinking he's spiraling out of control. I don't think he ever got certified as a teacher. And I think now he's gotten the taste, allegedly approximately $18,000 he's made in cameos over the last 3 months. And I think he's figuring, and then he's going to the casino. That's what I think's going on. Okay. So spiraling out of control. Anyone that gets in her orbit, gets around her, spirals out of control. Now, there's another reason for that too that we're going to get into, and that has to do with the type of people that are attracted to her on a friend or a romantic basis. The type of people that are attracted to Gypsy Rose Blanchard are people that aren't well mentally. Okay? I'm just suggesting that. You can believe it or not. You don't have to agree with everything that I say. I'm just putting it out there. Okay, let's see if there's anything else with this one woman.
More questions. I'm a little intrigued, but if you don't want to answer, you can just say, "Shut the hell up, barbecue lady." Take it fine.
Okay. I might say this because my chat doesn't like me talking about them.
Doesn't like. Oh, okay. Well, be respectful then. Never mind.
No, go ahead. I'll answer one question for you.
I can. I'm sure I could probably Google it. It's fine. I like to. Bruno.
If you're,
You want a dog? Do you want a Frenchie?
No, I'm stuck with my mouse sheet. No, ask your question. Seriously, it's okay. Ask your question.
No, I was just gonna say, like, from the time that you wrote that message until she got out and you guys actually met, like, how long was it?
Well, we met while she was in prison. Like,
oh, you got a visit.
Yeah, I visited a lot. I visited like once every 2 months after COVID restrictions had ended.
We're going to get into that. He did not meet her until a while. I mean, she had even broken up with him and he freaked out. That was in my last video. And he's freaking out and he's never even met her yet. But yeah.
I talked to her on the phone for like a year and a half before we met. Okay. Like we were talking every day.
I got a proposition for you, but go ahead.
And then when we met, then we committed to each other. And then I married her and I waited a year and a half for her to get out.
Okay. Here's the truth behind all of this. All right. That's his story. He's sticking by it. Fine. He's left out a lot of things. He's still protecting her. Okay. And maybe some of the stuff I'm going to show, he doesn't even know. He might not know these things about her. All right. Just wanted to show you. Here's the second. These are 2 emails. These are back to back, April 28th and 29th. She's written to him once. He's like bombarding her with emails now at this point. Okay. That first red pointy thing in the first email, the first red arrows up there is where he is saying, I'm currently a patient access specialist in our radiology department. Okay. So he talks about that. Then he also talks about my degree is in history. I know it's not exciting, but I love history. I was a substitute teacher when I first graduated. It wasn't bad. I am debating whether or not I want to become a full-fledged teacher, or I could be a coach also. I like the idea to teach anywhere. Schools are desperate for teachers. And then he goes on and then he says, I like having options. That's something he talks about. He's very braggadocious on his live streams. And I have a lot of options, when really technically he does not have a lot of options. He needs to start working towards those options. Okay. I think he's near 40. I mean, he needs, I don't know. All right. Anyways, if you want to pause to read these, it's him just verbal diarrhea about himself. When he doesn't know her and he's just bombarding her with these emails. Okay. Then 2 days later, again, Ryan responds again. Here we goes. This time, though, he says, also, I'm very self-conscious on some aspects. Used to be a very big person, not huge, but bigger. I have been dealing with it my entire life. I have recently lost 100 pounds. I'm still considered a big guy, though. I'm still losing weight. Also, hopefully you won't consider myself to be big anymore in the future. I'm 6'1" with broad shoulders, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Then, Gypsy responds at the very bottom of this. I'm going to bed. It's getting late. I didn't think anything negative about what you said. In fact, I am grateful that you're not flashy. Everyone look at me. So he had been relating to her how he was keeping their correspondence private. They've corresponded for like 3 days. It's not a relationship, but to him it is already. And to her, she's going for it because she moves into things that fast too. It's because they're not mentally healthy people that they do this. Okay. So she says, that you're not flashy. Everyone look at me. I'm talking to the famous Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Okay. All right. There she has. She's pretty arrogant herself there. There is nothing that will run me off faster. I'm just a normal chick. Yeah, just an average bear, right? Yeah, I have a past also. Everyone does. Uh Not everyone has their past on national TV to be gawked at. Thank you for keeping it private. Now, if you had some buddies you want to tell, that's fine. Like, go ahead, brag about me. It's fine. I know you want to brag about me because I am the famous Gypsy Rose Blanchard, by the way. Also, don't ever feel self conscious about your build. You're a cute guy. Yeah. Uh, yeah, that's what she says to him here. But just wait till you see what she says to Ken in an email like a few days later. As long as you're doing things to keep yourself healthy, there's nothing wrong with having a stocky build. I assumed you have that football player type thing going on. LOL. Here she's going to describe herself now. I'm 5 feet. I have a hourglass figure, but I have scars from surgeries I had. And my ass grew so fast when I hit 13 that I have stretch marks on my thighs and ass. My boobs are perfect though. Boobs and ass got the combo pack. LOL. See what I did there? I own my flaws without taking away from what I believe I do have. So, what if you are naturally bigger? Figure out what you do like about your body and be proud of it. You have pretty eyes. Can I tell a guy he has pretty eyes? Is that weird? You have nice eyes. Anyways, just be you. Anyone who judges you for it, they aren't worth you. Hugs, Gypsy. Okay, really? Really? And just bear with me because we've got a Christian Louis Vuitton update. If you guys don't know what that is, it's about the shoes Ryan got her for Christmas. He's now brought out the shoes in a live stream. We're going to get to that. And we're going to go over the Christian Louis Vuitton scene again because it's one of my favorites. So wait for it. Wait for it. We're getting there. So only after 2 weeks of emailing, this is another red flag about this guy, right? 2 weeks of emailing and like 2 phone conversation, and he is livid that anyone would think Gypsy Rose would not be a good mother. He doesn't even know her. This is what is so bizarre. It is funny. Must have been reading your mind because I sent it before. Okay. Now, one of your emails got me steaming mad. Not at you, of course. I know that probably can't cuss on these emails, so I'll try to keep it PG. Screw those SOBs that have said you wouldn't be a good mother. What the hell do they know? Nothing. I was so mad when I read that shit. I could say a hell of a lot more about those very sorry people. I think you would be great at it. I have no doubt in my mind. Based on what, dude? Based on your vast knowledge of Gypsy Rose Blanchard? Because she killed her own mother. That's about all you know about her. What have you known her for years and years? Are you a childhood friend? What are you basing this on? This guy was all over her. For what reason? We'll get to that. What I think it probably is. I can't stand it when ignorant people tell someone they can't or shouldn't do something, especially that. I think it is amazing that you want to have children. I would like to have one of my own someday. I do raise my nephew as my own son and treat him like he is my own, but I still want to have kids that are truly mine. Look, I can't even make this stuff up with this guy, you know. Um the way he talks about her, it is like he is worshiping her. It is like she is this woman of his dreams, when in reality, she is a prisoner in prison, convicted of murdering her own mother. It is so bizarre. The worship of criminals. And this is something that actually has a name that we'll get to in a minute. I just want to finish off these gross emails. Gypsy gaslights him then. Oh, my boobs are perfect. Okay, I already went over this one. Then, as Ryan sends multiple emails, Gypsy Rose sends this email to Ken in 2020. You can pause to read this. She is basically gushing over Ken, um, begging him to come back, begging him, about their relationship. So my point here is, at the same time as she's sending those emails to Ryan, acting like she is somewhat emotionally available to him, she is also sending this to Ken. You wasn't the one holding on. You were not the one who built your life around each other. If you no longer want to talk to me, then that is just a final killing blow you had not yet dealt me until now. I don't want the last things to say to you be out of pain and anger. So I will just say that. I'll just wipe away my tears, swallow my pride, and tell you that I love you more than you'll ever know. I'm sorry things didn't work out for us. I truly thought this is funny. I truly thought we were the exception, and I couldn't make it. I still feel you're my soulmate. We were so Rose and Jack in Romeo and Juliet. Of course, Rose and Jack, that's the couple from the Titanic movie. And look what happened to them. My love story is just another tragic tale to add to the greats. So obviously, this is how she's feeling about Ken, at the same time as she's building this new relationship with Ryan, and they're already like into it. You know what I mean? Here she says to Ken, at the same time, this is the same week. All these emails, basically, he starts emailing her on April 11th. This is the beginning of May. So this is it's all at the same time. So on May 6th, she writes to Ken, OMG ass, but okay, I'll stay single. But not because you said I should. I will because I don't have any good looking candidates. Will you please talk to me now? After she sent that email, the next one she sent is to Ryan. LOL, yeah, that did make me smile. Seriously, I do appreciate that. Today is better. Emails are going through at a snail's pace though. So today I got up around 5 a.m., went to breakfast, decided to take an early shower and give myself a spa day. Oh, let me just fill you in on what that is. So I have a personal trash can. I fill it with hot water. I grab my face mask cream and I apply it to my face. And then I soak my feet in hot water, trash can, all while listening to Taylor Swift's Blank Space. Oh, LOL. I also apply honey to my hair, which has great benefits for hair growth and shine. Yeah, it's kind of lame, but it's my own time. So just mind blowing, right? Just how she can turn it off and on, the emotion on and off with one email to Ken, the next email to Ryan. I mean, at the same time, she's playing these games. It's just, yeah. I mean, we knew this about her, but still reading it and reading her words and the verbiages she decides to use is crazy. Here's the gross one that you'll need a palate cleanser for at the end. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but this to me was a red flag because maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my age. Maybe I'm not up to date on how people talk to each other, but yeah, I would never, ever talk to any romantic interest like this. I mean, ever. I don't understand it. Okay. So Gypsy talked about wanting to get knocked up and has never tasted sperm, May 7th. So this is the very same week. She's been writing to him for like 10 days or so, or two weeks. Okay. Approximately 2 weeks. And here we go. 4 years ago, I had a plan that I was going to find any cute guy to knock me up so I could have kids. But now having married, I know what's not getting married. I know what's best way to go about it. LOL. Things have their own timing. I'm going to give myself transitional timing. I need to first to get myself stable as well as a man. Yep. Gonna need that sperm. Yum. LOL. JK. I've never actually tasted. Ah, okay. Well, that got awkward real fast. And as a man, as an adult male, you get this email and you think, you know what? Yeah, I like this. I like this kind of a woman. I like the class. I think she's someone that I'd like to have my children, right? That's what you think, right? Because you're not a broken individual. There's something wrong with you. In my estimation, maybe it's just, again, my age. I don't know. You guys let me know. I think it's so gross. So what does he do with that? What does Ryan do with that when he gets that kind of language in an email when they barely know each other? They barely know each other. Okay. If so, no worries. You will. Haha, just joking anyways. Your joke and your last email was so damn funny. That is another thing we have in common. I have never tasted sperm either. Haha. Seriously though, almost spit out my drink when I read that. I laughed so loud that coworkers thought I had lost my mind. I like that you say what is on your mind. Really? Really? Why is that on her mind? Maybe that's the better question, dude. Isn't that the better question? So yeah, really, really gross stuff. Let's get to the Christian Louis Vuittons, as she calls them. The Christian Louis Vuittons. All right. So Ryan, as I said, is going on live all the time now because he's decided that's his new job, it's my opinion, my humble opinion, that he is thrown in the towel on teaching and let me just do cameos and let me go on TikTok lives every other day or every day. And yeah, let me make a bunch of money so I can head off to the Lake Charles Casino, the Golden Nugget, guys. All right. So the next day he's on a live. I think this was last night, or this might have been 2 nights ago. I don't know. He went 3 days in a row. And the shoes come up. The Christian Louis Vuittons. Yeah, they come up. Here we go.
Give the shoes to Pixie as a chew toy. Have you lost your damn mind? I love my dog Pixie, but she's not getting expensive ass shoes to chew on. I love her, but them shoes were too damn expensive. And yes, as a teacher, it was hard to buy them shoes, but I bought them. They're amazing shoes. And the picture I have is amazing too.
Okay. What he's talking about here is some personal picture he has of Gypsy. I think just wearing the shoes and nothing else is what he's alluding to. And so he starts cracking himself up like he always does. He cracks himself up. Nobody else is really laughing with them. Here we go again. And that's what he's going to be referring to, this picture of Gypsy and her Christian Louis Vuittons.
They're amazing shoes. And the picture I have is amazing too. I couldn't help it. Patricia Collier, how much would you pay for them? You said I'd buy them. How much you pay for them? I taught both, but I taught SPED for the last 3.5 years. I love teaching SPED. How much I want? I don't know. You got to throw me a number, Patricia.
How has he taught SPED for 3.5 years when he's lost 2 jobs? And he wasn't working in SPED in 2020 or in 2021, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I mean, I don't know his resume. That just struck me right there.
Let's see the shoes again. Like, guys, I've kept them forever. I don't really want to sell them.
Why?
They're just going to waste. I mean, if she was here, I wouldn't sell them. I mean, come on. But she's in her new life now, which is whatever. All right, look, there they are. And I saw that clip. Ooh, I know what these are. Yep.
Yeah, let's go on.
And I saw that clip. Ooh, I know what these are. Yep.
Yeah, let's go over that clip, okay? Because in it, you can tell, and I know I went over it before, but you guys know, just, bear with me because I love it. I love this clip, okay? I love this clip. But you got to see I want you to pay attention to a few things. First off, this is what she calls them. She calls them Christian Louis Vuittons, okay? She doesn't know what the real name of the shoes are, all right? Which is the big running joke that's going around, But also, I want you to pay attention to 2 people's face. Mia's face Like Mia wants to just, if she could throw daggers at her at this point, that she's opening this up, she would. Mia's not amused. And then Ryan's face, because obviously she told him, you better get these shoes. Here we go.
And this is my big present to you.
Okay.
Did you see Mia's face? Let me back it up just a little bit. Did you see it? Look at her face. She's like, uh-huh. It's kind of like that smug look. It's a smug, like a little tiny, yeah. She's like, yeah, bitch. Right? She's like, yeah. All right, here we go.
Okay. Ooh, Christian Louis Vuitton. These are
I can't. Every time I see that, it's like, girl, what are you saying? Christian Louis Vuittons. And Mia's like, oh Christ, she doesn't even know what the real name of the shoes are.
they're really nice.
Those are stunning. That's from that.
That's the only one.
Look at Ryan's face. And he's going to talk about how much it cost him in a minute. He's like, yeah, she told me I better get those shoes or I'm in a lot of trouble.
One that I'll pick up.
Okay.
Anyways, that's that. Let's go back to him talking about how much these shoes cost him.
Bag somewhere. But red bottoms, they're like 5.5. They're small. Other people are like, trash them. I mean, that. Just for fun. $100, I can sell them on Posh.com for more than $100. Just saying. I might go that route anyway. I don't want to. Poshmark, that's it. Thank you. Poshmark. 500. No, I paid more than that. She wore them like twice, guys. Never out of the house though. Does that make sense? She never wore them on the street. She only wore them around the house. How much did I pay for them? Oh yeah, $2 million. Yeah, right. Somebody just said I'll wear them for you. Exactly. Why would I keep them? Right. I found them in the closet. Why would I keep them? I mean, $1,500. That's about how much I paid for them. I paid a little more.
So he paid up above $1,500 for him. That's a lot. That's a lot.
He's sad? No, I'm not. I'm happy. Your mama made me happy earlier today.
He is so not funny. That whole kind of humor is not funny. He's disgusting to me. I am really off. I was never, like I said, I was never on the Ryan train, but I'm so off of it now. And I don't know if his mom watches these videos, but if you do, please, he is spiraling out of control. And I think he is probably really, really into his gambling right now. And that's why he's going on TikTok every night and these cameos and all that. And yeah, maybe, I don't know he's not working towards anything of value in his life when he should be at this point, well into his career and, things of that nature. I'm not telling everyone how to live their life, obviously. I'm just saying that he's not a social media star. He was married to a woman who was a mommy murderer, and that's why he has notoriety at this time. So spending his time on these little TikTok lives, where I think he had about 2,000 people at one point, maybe 2,300, that number is going to keep going down and down and down. And the cameos, that's not a career. That's a side hustle. So I don't know what he's doing. I don't know why he's not pursuing something else. Go back to school maybe. Or I'm just saying that if I was his mother, I would be so, so very concerned. And if I was his mother, these kind of jokes that he just did, I would be mortified. I would just listen to it again.
Poshmark. 500. No, I paid more than that. She wore them like twice, guys. Never out of the house though. Does that make sense? She never wore them on the street. She only wore them around the house. How much did I pay for them? Oh yeah, $2 million. Yeah, right. Somebody just said I'll wear them for you.
Okay, not funny, but the next one really isn't funny.
Exactly. Why would I keep them? Right. I found them in the closet. Why would I keep them? I mean, 1,500. That's about how much I paid for them. I paid a little more. He's sad. No, I'm not. I'm happy. Your mama made me happy earlier today.
I can't. He's embarrassing himself. He's on a decline. He's spiraling out of control, like Gypsy liked to say, right? And now you see how their relationship began, how fast it began, how he was. I mean, there were so many emails I didn't pick to go over because they're just the same thing. Him gushing over him saying, oh, I can't believe I'm talking to you. I can't believe I'm talking to the real Gypsy Rose. He would say things like, I'm honored. You've chosen me. At one point he asked her, oh, do you respond to everyone or do you just choose certain people to respond to? And she's like, I just choose certain people to respond to. And then he felt all on, oh, I'm so honored. I'm so honored you chose me. You won't regret it. I'm here for you. I'll do anything for you. It was so disgusting. It was so desperate. And so, yeah. And then he's got this other side of him, this arrogance. And yeah, I don't think, as much as I want to believe that he's not an active addiction, I think he probably is with the gambling. I think we have a total, I think he's spiraling out of control. He is not looking for real work. He thinks the cameos and the TikTok is what is going to make him his money. It's not a good plan. Not a good plan. Not a good plan. Okay. I wanted to end with one thing. Hybristophilia is when people are attracted to people that are incarcerated, are murderers, are criminals. And usually it's more females that have hybristophilia. It's usually not men. But in men, it says men with hybristophilia may be drawn to female serial killers or criminals involved in violent acts, or those perceived as having a dark or dangerous persona. This attraction can range from admiration and fascination, and that's what we see in Ryan, to a desire for romantic or sexual relationships with the offender. Potential reasons. Some reasons for hybristophilia in men may include a desire for dominance, a fascination with the criminal's perceived power, or a misguided belief that they can save or reform the offender. Childhood trauma, low self-esteem, and a need for attention or control can also play a role. So I believe this about Ryan. I believe this also about Ken in some ways, although I think Ken does not fawn over Gypsy in the way Ryan does. But I think Ken does do this. He feels a need to protect her, to save her or reform her. That protection, that he lashes out at anyone that is critical of Gypsy. Ryan is worse off. He's the fawning, the the sexual attraction to her and all that. I also found an email, I forgot to bring it up, where Gypsy talks about Ken, and she says, we found those other emails where she, makes, after they break up, where she's like, oh, I think he's gay. But there's one where she actually discusses it and say that when she first met him, he talked about being attracted to guys and girls, and that was a red flag to her. I just thought I'd add that too, because I think that I think Ken's attraction to her isn't so much in sexual in nature as then he's attracted to this saving her, reforming her. Plus, I think there's a lot of greed that goes on with Ken, and Ryan less so. I think Ryan now is an active addiction though with his gambling. One last thing, Gypsy's still around. I heard that on TikTok, her TikTok Blown Art Beauty disappeared. Not sure what's going on with that. But, her new name is Butterfly Kiss Soul. I mean, where does she come up with these lame ass names? What does that even mean? Butterfly Kissed Soul. Is that Ken's pet name for her? Or I don't know. So here she's in the comment section. This is of within the last 24 hours. Yes, it's lazy. Someone writes, not saying some aren't pretty, but anyone can make them. Talking about Gypsy's artwork. Gypsy's doing what Gypsy does. She's trolling the internet, looking for anyone that's criticizing her still, right? And so she just had to weigh in here in this woman's TikTok page. Art is subjective. I have seen that a banana was taped to a wall and that sold for millions. They called that art. Now, in my opinion, a banana taped to the wall is not art. However, art is subjective. Anyone certain opinion does not make it good or bad. It just is what it is. That's the beauty of abstract art. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, Gypsy. Abstract art is an art form, and people study it. They go to school, and usually, what I learned from 1980 Millennial was abstract art is something you do after you've mastered the other, like portrait art, the other scenery art. Okay, then you go to abstract art. It's not something you go to first. You know, it's kind of like you don't learn to run before you learn to walk, and that's kind of what she has no idea. She hasn't even researched it enough to even know that much of it. And I'm taking that from a professional artist, 1980 millennial. So I'm going to go ahead and go with her opinion versus Gypsy's opinion. All right, guys. It's just it's a little bit longer than I hoped for, but I hope you guys appreciated today's video. Yeah. Ooh, Christian Louis Vuittons. Let's not forget that either, right? Because obviously Ryan has been notified about that video. And yeah, so he brought out the shoes, which I think is super funny. And yeah. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I will be going live within the next few days. I hope you can catch it. I've got a lot of other stuff. I've been doing the deep dive into the emails. I've got them all in separate files. There's really a lot to go on. And yes, we are doing a deep dive on those. But it's going to take time because it's a lot. But we will be doing a live soon. And I hope you guys will join me for that. So thank you for joining me. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to Becca Scoops. And thank you so much. Becca Scoops out.